Zoning, June the 9th, 2025. It's 5 o'clock. Let's sing Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. We have a consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered routine and will be enacted on one motion. These items include final plats, etc. All items approved by the consent are approved with any staff recommendations. Are there any items to be added to the consent agenda? No. All right. We have approved the minutes for the meeting of May the 12th, 2025.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. The regular agenda, the city council received staff recommendations.
Vote on that.
Oh, do we have to vote? I'm sorry. This is my first meeting too, folks.
You're doing great.
Vote on approval of the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Regular agenda, city council received staff recommendations and public input on the following items. Public hearing, discuss and consider action on zoning case zoning Z02507 regarding a zone change from B2 general business to R2 single-family residential district for one parcel of land approximately 0.34 acres in size, more particularly described by Nacogdoches Central Appraisal District Parcel 23897 and located east of Old Tyler Road, approximately a half a mile north of the intersection of Power Street and Old Tyler Road. Mr. Paulette, City Planner.
Thank you, Commission. Juan Paulette, City Planner. So this property fronts Old Tyler Road and is approximately 0.34 acres in size and is undeveloped, and the applicant plans to construct a single-family home on the property. The subject property is surrounded by a mix of zoning districts and land uses. The adjacent property is zoned B2 general business, but are developed with single-family homes. To the east is an undeveloped R4 multifamily tract that was approved for dirt extraction late last year and has now completed work operations. The future land use plan map designates the subject property as single-family residential. The single-family residential future land use is described as conventional one-family detached dwellings that also includes duplexes. And staff believes that the future land use designation of the property is consistent with the proposed zoning and aligns the existing residential development pattern in this area. This is a picture of the subject property from Old Tyler Road. And these are some pictures of the adjacent residential properties. Most of these properties front Old Tyler Road and are residential, although they're zoned commercial. And this slide shows the types of uses within a 200-foot notification area. Staff sent out 13 public meeting notices to property owners and 4 notice postcards to property owners within 200 and 500 feet. Staff did receive one response from the neighboring property to the north. Her concern was that her water or her utility line runs across the subject property. There's a utility line that runs on the southern property line of the subject property, and her house connects to that line. So we did have a meeting with our utility construction manager, and we ran across some options for either moving that utility line or having it so they can both use it, and then putting an easement across that property. There was no neighborhood meeting held for this zone change. Unless there's special conditions, normally we just hold neighborhood meetings for zonings that are up zone. In this case, we're down zoning the zoning from commercial to single family. Staff believes that this request meets the conditions of approval as stated in the staff report, and I'll be happy to answer any questions after the public hearing.
Is the applicant here? Would they like to speak on this issue?
No further than what he said.
Okay, we open the public hearing. That, there's no one who'd like to speak on it. We'll close the public hearing. Is there any questions?
Madam Chair, you have to open it first and then ask if anybody wants to speak on it, and then you can close it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay, no problem.
We're open a public hearing. Is there anyone here who would like to speak on this issue? If not, we'll close the public hearing.
Thank you.
Commissioners, any questions?
For Mr. Paulette, when y'all visited with the utility side, were both property owners amicable to the solutions that were found?
Yes, they were both in concurrence with the solutions. We just have to locate that line first, and then once we locate it, then we can figure out in more detail how they're gonna go about either relocating the line or putting an easement across there where both parties will be.
Is it a water line?
It's a sewer line.
Sewer line.
That was my question.
Questions? Do I hear a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to grant the request for a zone change from B2 general business to R2 single family resident in the case of zone 25-07.
And I'll second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Item B, public hearing. Discuss and consider action on zoning case ZON 202508 regarding a zone change from industrial, light industrial to R4 multifamily district for 2 parcels of land, approximately 1.16 acres in size, more particularly described by the Nacogdoches Central Appraisal District parcels 23-169 and 23-166, and a zone change from B2 general business to R4 multifamily for 1 parcel of land approximately 0.25 acres, more particularly described by Nacogdoches Central Appraisal District parcel 23167, and generally located on the west side of South Pecan Street, approximately 500 feet west of the intersection of South Pecan Street and South Fredonia Street.
Thank you, Chair.
Mr. Paulette?
Juan Paulette, City Planner. So this zone change is for 3 undeveloped parcels located at the southern end of South Pecan Street and total just under 1.5 acres. The subject properties are located within a predominantly residential area to the north with a railroad track running along the rear of the subject properties. The southern 2 parcels are zoned light and industrial, and the northern parcel is zoned general business. The applicant is requesting all 3 be rezoned to multifamily. The subject properties are located in a transitional area with a mix of zoning districts and land uses. To the north, the properties abut existing single-family homes that are zoned B2 general business. To the south, adjacent properties are zoned light industrial and are developed with a mix of commercial and residential uses. The subject property does lie within a designated FEMA flood zone. All new structures in this area are required to be built 2 feet above the base flood elevation level. The future land use plan designates the subject property as rural development. This future land use category is described as sparsely populated areas with limited development and also include areas that are gradually transitioning into urban uses and development. The proposed R4 zoning aligns this intent by supporting residential development in a manner consistent with the area's transition from industrial and commercial uses to a residential character. Staff finds that this request is generally consistent with the goals of the comprehensive plan, specifically avoiding undesirable development by ensuring compatible development when differing land use types or intensities are located in close proximity. And this is the picture of the subject property from South Pecan Street. And the picture on the left is the adjacent residential properties to the north. Directly across the street is an auto mechanic shop that is zoned B2 General Business. This slide shows the types of uses within a 200-foot notification area. Staff sent out 16 public meeting notices to those property owners and 20 notice postcards to property owners within 200 and 500 feet. Staff have not received any responses in opposition or in favor of the request. And because this is a downzoning, there was no neighborhood meeting conducted. Staff believes that this request meets the conditions of approval as stated in the staff report, and I'll be happy to answer any questions after the public hearing.
Thank you. I'd like to open the public hearing. Is there anyone here who'd like to speak on this item?
I'm here for it, but Mr. Paul said
If-
everything and anything.
If you want to come forward, that would be fine. If you'll give us your name and address, please.
My name is Rolando Roy Rodriguez, and my address is 1815 York Drive, and that's just a project that I want to start, and all the information that Juan gave you. is
Okay, and
all
what
that's needed.
what do you plan to do there?
Well, right now, like I said, just either build duplexes or housing complexes there. My options were industrial at first, and I didn't see any need for that, and then the general business, I mean, not in that area, so there's just houses all around there, so my thoughts are, I own Rodzilla Development, so it's just right across the street, and I've taken that property, cleared it off, and I just think some housing would be good there.
Okay, and you understand that you're in the floodplain, right?
Well, I am, but not really, because that certain area, it's higher than the rest of the houses, so if you look at the houses that are north from it, they're probably about 5 or 6 feet below. The last time we had a flood situation here in Nacogdoches, I was worried about my other rent house that I had on West Cottage that since then I've sold because they would flood. So I've sold them, and I want to invest my money over here. And when that flood happened, I was out here at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, and every house around there was flooded except my property. I still have 5 or 6 feet to go. So it's not, as you look at it, it starts going up towards, and so there's no, if we flood there, we're in trouble. Nacogdoches is in trouble. So.
Noah's looking for
Yeah,
trouble.
so we're in trouble there. But yeah, I mean, everything he says is just exactly kind of what I want to do with it and kind of make things a little better over there.
Okay, good, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else? No. We close the public hearing. Is there any questions from the council?
Man, I should have kept you up here. Sorry, it's a PE day. Go back and forth, back and forth.
I had my knee reconstructed, I say reconstructed, replaced back in November. So when last time I came here, I was on crutches now.
Well, man, was it giving you any trouble from there and back
I'm
again?
getting better. I'm getting
Well,
better.
man, then you got a
Yes, sir.
good
What
doctor.
can I answer for you?
How many units are you looking at putting in? I'm very familiar with this area. I was the principal for Donia, which is in this general area. So how many units?
Basically, what I think I have the property line for, I think is gonna be max, or the minimum is gonna be 50 feet width, correct?
The property.
The properties. So I've kind of figured it out that I could possibly get 5, for sure 4, if I do those measurements as far as the width.
And what kind are you doing? Like what kind of units? What are they going to look like? In theory, because I know it's all very.
Right now it's kind of basically hardy board construction. kind of a cottage style, something like that.
Single family?
Well, could be
Duplexes.
duplexes, single family, depends on, once I start going, what I see is gonna be the better
Sure.
part as far as beneficial for me, as far as money wise. Taxes for the city, they'll agree with whatever I build, they'll be happy with it.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Anybody else?
Good, thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Do I have a motion?
Yeah, this one has what is going from I1 and B2 to R4.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. All right. Hey, Madam Chairwoman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the petition in the zoning case 2025-08 to change the light industrial and B2 zone into R4 for this particular plot.
Do I hear a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The zoning, we have a zoning committee sub-report. That's you.
I think
C.
it's,
That's him.
Item C, Madam.
One more
Pardon?
before that.
Before that, item C. The top of the page.
Oh, I'm
Consider
sorry.
to-
I'm sorry. Consider action to appoint one planning and zoning commission member to serve on the City of Nacogdoches Zoning Ordinance Subcommittee.
we have to replace you, Ruth.
Yeah.
I think both Shannon and Lily knew we had to pick somebody to replace you today, and so they
And
both
so-
chose not to be here.
Which is a guarantee to get appointed if you do that kind of thing.
Good evening, Commissioner. Mike New, Executive Director of Development and Infrastructure. This one was one we put on the agenda after hearing of your announcement that you'll be departing us soon. Wanted to get ahead of things and try and take care of business as swiftly as possible. This was one that we felt we have an active subcommittee, and you and Commissioner Zemanek have been very active in the discussions on that subcommittee, so we wanted to carry that forward and give this commission an opportunity to reappoint so that we can continue business, which, based on our membership, it's a subcommittee, we can continue business with one or two P&Z members. Based on our availability today of commissioners, 3 of the 5, I did want to make note that the terms of 3 of our commissioners on the dais today are set to expire in July. Council would reappoint somewhere in that time frame, and that could be maybe a justification to table this item for consideration. 1, to have a full commission kind of debate that and discuss that, and then 2, certainly if there's any changes, there'd be 1 potentially. Based on the expiration of terms. So this doesn't have to happen today. If the commission doesn't feel that appointment is necessary today, we can table this item and carry it to the next order of business at the next meeting. But quick summary of the subcommittee: it was formed in November 24, 2 members each from P&Z, ZBA, and the council. And primary role here is to recommend ordinance amendments applicable to any of the governing bodies. Most recent action taken based on subcommittee discussion was an update to the ZBA rules of procedure. That was discussed for a couple of meetings of the subcommittee. Other actions include, I think they talked a little bit about feather flag ordinance changes. We've talked about procedural amendments within the zoning ordinance. And we continue to discuss some other things, which I'll touch on in the next item. But as far as the subcommittee appointment, this is something that commissioners can decide tonight or table for the next meeting.
I'm wondering, since there's only, I'm obviously going off, but if there's just the 2 of you left, you might want to wait until July when you have a full commission.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good one. That one, unless Matt, I mean that leaves
No,
you.
no, no, I agree wholeheartedly. Is this now, is the appropriate measure to
Yeah, it's
make a motion to
postpone
table?
it.
Okay, then I would like to make that motion to postpone until July when we have a fully,
Stack deck.
Hopefully,
a
there's
full
no
commission
guarantee, but-
present.
Okay, postpone to the
Second.
next
Yeah, I'll second
regularly
that.
scheduled meeting. Okay.
Got a motion?
I'll second.
Thank
Get a vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now, item 5, zoning ordinance subcommittee report.
Thank you, Acting Chair Carroll. Commissioners, Mike New, Executive Director of Development and Infrastructure. This is a recap of some of our subcommittee discussions. We touched on a little bit in the previous item about our zoning ordinance subcommittee. It was formed back in November. We've had many discussions on a number of different topics in the zoning ordinance, taken action on a few. Most recently, our discussion in May, not just maybe, what is that, a week or two ago, a couple weeks ago. We covered a couple of items that through discussion we may not carry forward, which is exactly okay with how our subcommittee discussions can go. We've been on a track of moving things along in discussion as far as proposals that have carried from even the previous August. Other items we're still debating and proposing and tweaking and reworking. So what I have on the slide here shows just a brief summary of recent activity with the subcommittee and its participation in some items, recommending definition changes, discussing amendment procedures, off-street parking. We've discussed fences during a couple of meetings, not prepared to carry anything forward there. We also talked about battery storage systems, implications within the zoning ordinance for land uses of that type. Outside counsel discussed that a little bit, and a number of other topics. We've got other items that are still a little bit carried over from the August workshop from last year. We will get to those because those are sort of large umbrella items. It's going to take some time to kind of walk through those in detail, but certainly this subcommittee is covering a lot of topics and we'll continue to do that as we carry business. And open to any additional comments that the participants want to share.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And item 6, obviously there should be somebody else in this chair. So,
So Ruth, if you'd like to come up here and we'd like to present you a little something.
I tell you
Or
what,
I can come up
I
there.
I was gonna say.
that would be easier. If you don't mind.
You want us to get down so you can get a good picture?
Your chair just
Okay.
kind of off center a
Okay.
little bit.
It would probably be cool to just have her up here. We can get down.
Can you use your phone?
Push those in. Well, let them get a good photo of just her. It's the power photo. And then we can go back up there.
I mean,
And she's
well,
the
let's go ahead and
demo.
start.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
So on behalf of your fellow commissioners, Planning and Zoning Department, as well as the City of Nacogdoches, just want to present you a small token of our appreciation and gratitude for your many years of service to our community. I believe Ms. Carroll originally started back in the early 80s, and she was in the HLPC committee where she served as chair
Yes.
for many, many years, as well as our Planning and Zoning Commission. And so we just want to give this to you as our gratitude for your many years of service and
Thank you.
your years of
It's been my pleasure.
Now, I will let Juan talk through this. We worked with our GIS manager, Tread Riggs, whom you're familiar with, on putting together one of our original maps of
Oh, I
Nacogdoches
see.
County. And we knew you were moving and you had to take some more stuff with you to hang up and figure out where to put. So we could have created a bigger frame, so we're kind of keeping
Well,
this as small
I
as we can for
appreciate
your
that.
benefit. But we just want you to know that you mean a lot to this organization. Your contributions have all been unpaid. But you've committed so much time and effort into providing the kind of community input and representation that this city really needs, and we're going to miss you very much.
Well, thank you.
Thank
I'm
you
going to
very
miss
much.
being here.
So we'll help you carry this out.
Okay.
But thank you.
Thank you.
Come on. If we can get the commissioners up here too, we'll stand with you on this one. You see that?
Congratulations, Ruth.
You don't like it? We can,
Whenever we get done with the meeting, we'll take.
okay,
a picture.
we'll do it after.
Oh, wait, I'm gonna take a picture.
Oh, go ahead and smile, everybody.
Okay, you get a really good one, I don't wanna get a bad one. Ruth, you rock.
This up here until we're about to be first.
Yeah, you gotta close us out.
I got to
Close
close
this
this out.
Full circle, full circle.
Okay.
And Juan didn't mention this, but I even pulled an old, here, I'll come up. Juan didn't mention this, but talking about full circle, so I think this was sometime after you were appointed to the HLPC, also in the, it was 83. It may have been 85 that you had made several comments because there was discussion about the city hiring its first city planner. And you were in full support of that. And we've got our newly designated city planner here, and here you are acting chair of our Planning and Zoning Commission. It is full circle. So
Yes, and I think that's wonderful. I'm so happy that the city did that back then and now.
yes, ma'am. We thank you.
Where I am here.
You are at the point where,
Ah.
item 7.
Is there anything anyone would like to add to future agenda items? We cannot discuss those tonight, but they can be put on future agendas.
Madam Chairwoman, I'm just going to be Madam Chairwoman. I would like to, and I guess it's probably more for one, but just consider since 60% of the dais is possibly going to be replaced, it might be nice if we had a workshop set up for our new commissioners. That way when they come in, we can kind of go over certain pieces with them. About just generally how the commission works. It may not be necessary. We may have nothing but seasoned people, and I'm still the newbie here, which is fine with me. But that was just something that we may want to look at.
Anything else? In that case, I think we are adjourned. It's 5:27.